This week on the Man Up Podcast, we're taking it outside and getting real. Terry Gwaltney breaks down the 4 lies every man believes and how they silently sabotage our lives. From I'm not enough to I can do this alone, we're exposing the lies and replacing them with truth. Don't miss this one. Your freedom could depend on it.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Man Up Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Gwaltney. Listen, today we're going to go a little bit off grid, at least we're not in the studio. So if you listen to this by audio and you hear some water, well, that's intentional. If you're watching this by video, then you understand we just decided to get out in God's creation today and shoot this video. So I am super excited about the topic we're going to be talking about today. I hope you are too. Tune in. The title today is The 4 Lies That Every Man Believes. As you're listening to this day, hopefully you get to a spot, you listen to it again, take some notes. Figure out where you may fit in this. Where are you getting trapped? Where are you getting tripped up? So you can move beyond that. You deserve it. Family deserves it. And as a nation, we need it, and so does your church. So let's get going. Guys, if there's one thing that can wreck your life without ever laying a hand on you, it's really a lie you believe. Now think about that. So we're going to talk a lot about mindset today. You know, everything up to this point in your life has helped contribute to opinions you have, values you share, perspectives that you have, and really how you interpret the guy in the mirror. Every man listening right now, you know, we're fighting a battle, and it's not always the kind you can see. And I think that's the important part I want us to understand today. It's not just bills. It's not just stress. It's not just temptation. It's really a battle between the truth and the lies, which is truly the epic battle between good and evil. But I want to expose a few of the tactics that the enemy tries to use against us today. You know, Jesus didn't say try harder and you'll be free. He didn't say be more disciplined and you'll be free. What he said was is you will know the truth, and then the truth will set you free. And that's John 8:32. And so, knowing the truth, not about the truth, having an understanding, a revelation, which means it's revealed to me where I understand what it means, that is the key to having freedom in some of the areas of our life. So, if you're not free somewhere in your life, it's a very good chance you're believing a lie. And why do these lies work so well? Well, let's go all the way back in the Garden of Eden. We're kind of sitting in a garden today. And I won't reframe the whole picture, but God created this perfect garden, created man, put him in it, and he would walk with man in the garden every day just to hang out with him in fellowship. Same thing he desires to do today with the Holy Spirit living on the inside of you. And he gave all the authority to the earth, to the man. Subdue it, name it, have dominion over it. And the plan of the enemy, in a nutshell, was when he was able to convince Adam to sin, that authority transferred to the god of this world the Bible talks about, which is Satan, for a period of time until this earth ends and is recreated. So not to get too deep in all of that, but we all know the story. Something happened with an apple, a woman, and Adam in the garden. Question is, in Genesis 3:1, here's how Satan approached man. He said, did God really say? Think about this. The mess that we live in today, the sin that we see in the world, the fights and the challenges that we fight on a personal basis, living in this sin-filled earth, still in a mortal body, with an earth that's really still under a curse, can all be traced back to a strategy the devil had to ask a question. Did God really say? He planted doubt in Adam and Eve's minds, and they bit, not just the fruit, but the lie behind it. Guys, that's the enemy's game plan. It's not necessarily brute force, it's deceit. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish the lie between the half-truth when the reality is they're both the same. He doesn't need to destroy you if he can distract you. He doesn't need to beat you if he can blind you. 2 Corinthians 4:4 says, the God of this world has blinded the minds of unbelievers. This is laid out. This is not like attention, newsflash. I mean, this has been recorded. It is a strategy. It's how he works. We just need to be aware of it. So what starts as a whisper becomes a belief. And that belief shapes your behavior. That whisper could have been, told you you weren't good enough. I told you you would never amount to anything. You remember what your dad said? You'd always be selfish. You never had what it took. You were never good as your brother. I wish you'd never been born. You've been an accident, a mistake your whole life, and a disappointment. Those whispers begin to shape, they turn into a belief and begin to shape your behavior. You begin to line yourself up subconsciously and make decisions based on what you're believing. See, the devil's not creative, that's God. But the devil is consistent. And if you're not alert, that lie becomes your script. You live it out. You act it. Here's the sad part. You pass it on to your kids. That's why it's time to shut this down. Four lies every man must confront. Let's break it down. These are the four, I think, most dangerous lies that men can believe. And the truth that really kills them. So, number one, if you're writing this down, I don't have what it takes. How many of us have heard that? How many have heard that whisper? You don't have what it takes. Maybe somebody's told you that and just reaffirmed what you were thinking. Or maybe they told you that and then you started believing it and it affected your self-confidence. And then you failed a couple of times and then you begin to believe it and you quit trying. It's the story of the elephant. Ever wondered how you can go to a circus and see an elephant with one rope around his one leg and he's not escaping? It's because that elephant, when he was a baby elephant, had a chain around his leg with a giant stake drove in the ground, and he would pull and pull and pull against that, and he never could. And so he developed a belief system that there's no need to pull against the chain because I'll never be able to break free. So now he doesn't try anymore. A rope he could snap, tent he could pull down. The want to and the will to has been removed from him because he doesn't believe he can do it. So untapped potential. So I don't have what it takes. Listen, this is the lie of inadequacy, and it's a huge one. Maybe your dad didn't affirm you when you were growing up. Maybe you failed once, and now shame has a grip on your soul. You feel like you're always one step behind everybody else. You're like a boy trying to maybe play in a man's game, and you're always coming up short. 2 Peter 1:3 says, His divine power has given us everything we need for life and godliness. Everything. That's what I want you to remember in that verse. Everything. He's already given you everything that you need for life and be able to walk out a life pursuing God that is a testimony to the rest of the world. Not a perfect one. Listen, today we're having a talk. This is two imperfect dudes talking. But we serve a perfect God who has a perfect plan. And if you'll begin to apply these principles, you'll begin to see progress begin to take place in your life that'll blow the mind of your wife, your kids, your dad, and the guys at work. You can have people asking, well, like, what's happened to you? What's going on? So you don't need more gear. A lot of times we don't even need more grit. You simply need to believe the truth. God equips who He calls. Where He guides, He always provides. His will, His bill. You need to understand those things. The real issue we're having isn't ability. The real issue we're having is identity. Second thing today. Second lie. I have to earn my value from God. Can I tell you that if we have to earn our value, we're all in trouble. We can't do enough good to undo the bad that is just innately we're born into. But can I tell you something, that there's more grace in God than there's sin in you? Think about that for a minute. I don't have to earn my value from God. See, this is a real sneaky one. Here's what happens. You try to start serving God out of guilt, not love. He's looking for a relationship, not a robot. He's looking for a son, not a slave. So it can't be rooted in guilt. It has to be rooted in love. You think every mistake knocks you out of sonship. So let me be clear. You're not trying to impress a boss today. You're not an intern in God's kingdom. You're not God's employee. You're his son. It's a big difference. Big difference. Romans 8:15 says this: you did not receive a spirit of slavery to fall back into fear, but you received the spirit of adoption as sons. In other words, God says, I've adopted you into my family. I chose to have you in my family. I paid the price for you. I was in a funeral 2 days ago before shooting this, and mother had passed away. The father had already been deceased, good friend of mine. But he got up there, and he was an only child, and he'd been adopted. And for many years, people around him didn't even know that. Some of the people sitting, I think, in the funeral parlor didn't know that. But what he said was, I know that I had the greatest parents in the world, and I was perfectly loved, because God could have chose anybody, but he chose those people to be my parents, and they adopted me. That's what I'm talking about. God chose you. God's adopted you. He's calling you his son. See, you're not working for acceptance. Get this. You're working from it. Let me repeat that. You're not working for acceptance. You're working from it. In other words, because you've been accepted, you're just living out, walking this journey out. There's nothing you can do to make God love you anymore. You know, there's nothing that's going to separate you from his love. There's nothing that's going to cause him not to say, you know what, I think it was a bad choice. I don't want you to be in my family anymore. You're not my son. But when you work from that identity, it changes everything. Now I'm just working because I want to be in relationship with him. Third lie. I'll never be good as that guy. Who's that guy in your life? Who's that guy growing up? Who's that guy in your house? Who's that guy at work? Who's the guy at church doesn't even know it? He's become your excuse. Because you look at him and you say, I'm never going to be as good as that guy. See, this is the comparison trap. Listen, God doesn't need another him. He's looking for you. He needs someone faithful, not flashy. I know you can scroll through Instagram, you can look on Facebook, you can see the dudes with the ab, the guy with the car, what appears to be the perfect family, all the influence, and you feel like garbage. Most of the time you're seeing what they want you to see. You really don't see the real them behind the scenes. But here's the truth. God doesn't need a copy of someone else, which is why every person has a different fingerprint, because he's made you distinctly different. Even a twin is different. Maybe hard to tell from the outside for us humans looking in, but totally different. God doesn't need a copy of someone else. But what he does need is the authentic version of you, and that's what he desires. That's what he wants. Galatians 6 says it like this: each one should test his own work. Then he can take pride in himself alone without comparing himself to someone else. Listen, faithfulness beats flashy every time. Be obedient. Quit trying to be impressive. Fourth lie. I can do this on my own. That lie will destroy you the fastest. That lie probably resonates with most men that are listening to this today. Our default is, our society has taught us, pull up your bootstraps, deal with this yourself, stuff the emotion down, don't ask for help. It's a sign of weakness. You can do this on your own. Can I tell you that suicide rates are higher now than they've ever been in this period of life? It's crazy. So that lie will destroy you the fastest. That's how men fall. Isolation kills men, period. We say, man, I got this. No, you don't. You may have this for now. You weren't built to walk solo. Lone wolves get eaten. What you need is brothers. You need some guys that will be there for you. I don't have time to go into it today, but you remember the man, and Jesus was he was preaching, and he was inside a house, and their brother needed a healing, but he couldn't walk there. 4 dudes picked up a mat, carried him over there, climbed up on the roof, tore the roof off, and lowered him down inside so he'd have an audience with Jesus. That's the kind of band of brothers you need in your life. That'll help you do what you can't do, to get help you don't know where to find. to help walk with you, someone to carry your mat. That's what you need. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 says, 2 are better than 1. If either of them falls, the one will lift up his companion. But woe to the one who falls when there's not another one around to lift him up. Guys, you have to do this alone. And we're cautioned and told in the Word not to try to do it alone. You need brothers. I'm not talking about guys just watch a football game with you. You need men that'll help watch your soul. So what do we do about this? Let me give you an action plan. I don't want to just talk about the problem. Let's man up here and let's do something about it. So, number 1, confront the lie. In other words, write it down, call it out, say it out loud. You know whatever it is, one of those 4, whatever it is for you, just call it out. Maybe it's, I believed I'm not enough. I believe I have to earn love. Listen, whatever it is, name it, call it out. Stop stuffing it down. Write it down. Say it. Here's the reality. Lies grow in the dark, and you need to drag them into the light. Some of the things that we hold on to that, the enemy just plays in our mind, and it's a dark place. You tell that to somebody else, like, I can't believe you say that, man. Like, that is the farthest from the truth. I mean, I come to you for that very reason because you're the exact opposite of that. I don't know how you could believe that about yourself. You need to drag the lies out of the dark into the truth. Second thing you need to do, you need to replace the truth. Find a scripture that exposes your lie. I've given you some today. Narrow down what it is and find a scripture. The scripture is God's promise to you and the authority in your life that says what God really thinks about you. So replace it. It exposes a lie. What happens is it turns into your weapon. See, Jesus didn't just argue with Satan. He quoted the word to Satan. It is written. It is written. It is written. You need to know the word. And I promise you this, if you'll get into the word will get into you. And you'll be armed to be able to handle these situations because you'll be able to pull out stuff that is written, and it'll separate the lie from the truth. If you have to, write the truth on your mirror in the morning. Write it on your phone, your mind. Maybe you need to write it down, take a picture of it, and it becomes a screensaver on your phone so you see it every time. Whatever you got to do, you got to expose that thing, and you got to replace it with truth. Third thing, you need to get accountable. You need a brother who loves you enough to hurt your feelings. Do you have that in your life? Do you have a brother that loves you enough to hurt your feelings? In other words, someone who'll say, "Man, you're slipping, and I see it, let's talk." Find a man who won't let you coast. Someone who will call you out and call you up. And listen, if you don't have some of those dudes in your life, it's probably because you haven't asked them. Most people, even guys, are uncomfortable of having that kind of relationship unless they're asked to. You need to find that guy that you trust, and you need to say, "Man, I want you to, you see me coasting? I want you to call me out. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm determined I'm going to be a better dad. I've determined I'm going to be a better husband. I'm going to change what I keep putting before my eyes." And you need to have them there to call you out. Because calling you out is like calling you up. Find that man. Or in addition to, I should say, be that man for someone else. Number 4, know who you are. Your story is not necessarily your identity. Let me repeat that. Your story, especially up till now, is not necessarily your identity. You are not your failure. You're not the addiction. You're not the wound your dad never healed. You're not the porn you watched last week. You're not the divorce you walked through. You're not the anger that you inherited. You're a blood-bought son of the King. Now start walking like it. Start acting like it. Start believing that. Guys, if there's ever a time to man up, it's now. There's a fight for your soul, and if that doesn't motivate you, there's a fight for the soul of your family. It's a fight for the soul of our nation. Fifth thing, Build brotherhood. This is a war. Warriors don't march alone. Maybe you need to start a men's group. Maybe you need to join a Bible study. Maybe you need to invite one man to coffee this week and just be honest with him. Maybe he'll be a mat carrier for you. Maybe he'll be a shield bearer for you. Isolation, guys, is where the devil whispers the loudest. You don't have to be alone. There's guys on this that's listening today that'll be at camp this year, that'll be at church with you next Sunday, that work with you tomorrow, that will be there for you if you'll just ask them. You don't have to walk alone. Listen, iron sharpens iron, so don't try to sharpen yourself alone. You need someone else. I'm going to give you your final challenge to close this out today. If you don't kill the lie, it will kill you. That's the reality. Maybe not today. The guys that'll kill your marriage, it'll kill the relationship you have with your kids, it'll kill your reputation, it can destroy your legacy, it can destroy your reputation in your community, it can kill your leadership. You don't get free by pretending. You get free by stepping into the truth. So let's man up. Let's get real. Speak the truth. Kill the lie. Because freedom doesn't come from performance. Freedom comes from knowing you're free. Listen, legacy is not what you leave in people. It's what you leave to them. Now, I want to challenge you today. If this word has spoken to you, share it with somebody. Share it with somebody. We ask you to subscribe. We ask you to review, all that stuff. It helps more people hear about the show. That's true. Today, this message is a lifeline for somebody, and you know who that guy is because he just flashed across your mind. Reach up, hit share, send him a link. Maybe you'll actually send him a lifeline. Be that man for someone else. We'll see you next time on the Man Up Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to the Man Up Podcast. We hope today's episode challenged and inspired you to become a better man, father, and husband. Remember, failure isn't final, and you're not alone on this journey. Mark your calendars for October 24th through the 26th, 2025, and join us at Man Up Adventure Camp in Stonefort, Illinois. It's a 3-day, off-the-grid experience designed to help you find purpose, overcome failure, and leave a legacy. No camping experience required, just a willingness to grow. Register now and find more resources at manupadventure.com. Stay connected with us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Man Up Adventure Camp. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Man Up Adventure. Rate and review the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts to help more men find their tribe. Thank you for being part of this movement. Let's continue to live on purpose and leave a mark that can't be erased.